Hello ladies, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I'm Aisha. I'm a certified trauma-informed coach, and I am on a mission to help 1 million women become their most confident and successful selves with the use of Law of Assumption. If you have not yet subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and tap that bell icon to be notified so you never miss out on powerful tips, inspiring stories, and essential guidance so that you too can manifest the life of your dreams. And if you are returning to my channel, you may have noticed I have switched from a very visually present era to a more podcast style. So this is the first episode of the Who Is She podcast. And this is because I have welcomed a new family member into my home, and I am giving them all the love and attention that they deserve. And I'm also recovering. So it is just easier for me in this chapter of my life to show up with audio and no visual. At some point, I will be able to do more lives again, and I will be doing more videos, especially on my Confidence Club premium membership. They will be getting the first videos because it is a paid subscription. It is only $19.99? I think it's $19.99 a month. So sorry, mom brain going on here. And so it's very affordable, and you can basically consume as much content as you have the time to consume within 1 month. I don't expect anybody to pay $20 a month for the whole year. That would be kind of crazy. Not that I don't see the value in it, but honestly, I'm one of those people where I will pay for a membership and I will binge the content in the membership, and then I will move on to the next membership that interests me. So I have no hard feelings if that's what you want to do with my Confidence Club premium membership. But I will be posting more videos of myself doing videos when I do have the capacity to get myself ready and dressed and all of that. But anyways, in the meantime, today's episode is all about not settling. It is about making 2025 the year that you do not settle for less than you deserve. It is about not accepting breadcrumbs, not accepting the bare minimum, not accepting what you know that you no longer desire, what you know is no longer suitable for the person that you've become. Now, in 2024, I did accomplish many things that I'm very grateful for, and I started this year obviously welcoming a new member into my family, and that has been the greatest blessing, and I am eternally grateful for that. My husband has been the most amazing person in terms of supporting me and supporting our family, and I have nothing but gratitude so far. And I also still have goals and ambitions for myself this year, and what I will say is, since 2023, so between January and March of 2023, I learned and studied Law of Assumption manifestation. So I came from Law of Attraction, and before that, I had a spiritual awakening, but I was still very new to spiritual concepts and manifestation. So as I am recording this today, it's been about 2 years of me living, breathing Law of Assumption manifestation. So that's still fairly early. Some people get it really quickly, and some people, it takes more repetitions to understand and practice manifesting properly. And what I'm trying to get at here is that 2 years into my manifestation journey with Law of Assumption, I am the most confident in my ability to manifest than I have ever been. I have been able to manifest in so many dire circumstances that you cannot tell me manifestation doesn't work. And first thing is that if you are doubting manifestation, if you are struggling with it, if you are constantly consuming educational videos about manifestation, but you don't have a ton of success stories, you don't have a bunch of evidence in your own personal life that manifestation works and that it works for you and that you can consciously manifest, you really need to double down this year and prove it to yourself. And obviously, one of the grandfathers of Law of Assumption, Neville Goddard, used to teach this all the time in his lectures as well as in his books, is that he can tell you success story after success story after success story. I can tell you about all of the people I've personally coached. I can tell you about all of my life experiences. I can share those testimonials as evidence, but ultimately, you will not believe in manifestation until you do it for yourself. And it is not enough to watch these videos, to listen to these podcasts, to study the information. It is not enough to read the books and listen to the lectures and know how manifestation works. You actually have to be doing it. And you cannot meditate for 10, 15 minutes a day and then spend the rest of your time going against your manifestation. You cannot say a couple of affirmations in between complaining about your circumstances and expect to manifest. And I am taking full ownership here, full radical accountability. The reason that my life is not where I want it to be today is because I was not consistent enough. I was not disciplined enough with my mental diet. I was not completely married to my manifestation in 2023 and in 2024. So in 2025, that is what I'm doing differently, because I refuse to settle for circumstances that don't fit me. I refuse to settle for physical health that doesn't make me completely joyous and appreciative of my body. I refuse to accept any type of inconsistency in my interpersonal relationships, be that my marriage or my friendships or business partnerships or family. I refuse to accept, the bare minimum from life when I know very well that I can manifest in dire circumstances. I can manifest the most amazing experiences for myself. I can manifest hitting milestones that 10 years ago, I could never have even dreamed of reaching those goals and hitting those milestones. And let this be your message, your reminder, your motivation. Even though we're a month into the year, don't let that stop you from believing that you can absolutely create the reality that you desire this year. It is not too late. And if you truly commit, and when I say commit, I mean from the time that your eyes open in the morning to the time that you hit the pillow in the evening and close your eyes to go to bed, you are living in the end. And that doesn't mean that you cannot have emotions about your circumstances. It does not mean that you cannot ever fail or get knocked off the horse and, feel like you have to get up and try again. It just means when you have those experiences, when you get triggered, when you start to doubt, when you start to fear, I want you to stand tall and be firm in your affirmation that it's already done. If you want to be married this year, I want you to, in your head, think about, who am I as a married woman? How do I feel? How do I feel when I'm with my person? How do I feel when my person is texting me sweet messages? How do I feel when I go to bed knowing that my person is there for me? How do I feel knowing that I have this person who has my back entirely, someone who I can give all of my love to and be appreciative and affectionate towards? How does that make me feel truly? And I want you to live there. And if it's a health goal or, a physical goal with your body that you want to change, whether you just want to change your appearance, maybe you want longer hair, or you want to go down to a different dress size or lose a certain amount of weight, or maybe you have a stressful health diagnosis, you went to the doctor and you got these test results back and they're not what you want. I want you to be the version of you that you desire, no matter what the circumstances are showing you. So if you want to be a dress size 6 and you're a dress size 12 right now, I want you to absolutely refuse and deny the reality that you are anything but your desire. And obviously, if you're experiencing some type of health issue and you have to take a medication, by all means, take those medications. I take a multivitamin every day, and I have full faith that multivitamin gives me everything that my diet does not give me. I take an iron supplement, and I have full faith that when I take that iron supplement, I am a healthy person. I know that the magic is not in the physical pill of the vitamin. I know that the magic is in my brain, because there is something called the placebo effect, and there's also something called the nocebo effect. So most people have heard the placebo effect. When they are testing drugs for people who have illnesses and diseases and infections, They do what's called a double-blind study, and that means that some of the test patients will get the actual medication and some people will get a sugar pill. And the magical thing is, even the people with the sugar pill, because they believe that they're getting the real deal medicine, their symptoms will improve. That's the placebo effect. But there's also something called the nocebo effect. And this is when you take, let's say you have a headache and you have headaches regularly, and you take acetaminophen, or the brand name here is Tylenol. So you take an acetaminophen and you tell yourself, oh, this never works for my headaches. I take this Tylenol and I still have a headache. Every time I take a Tylenol, it doesn't do anything. Or maybe you believe if I take one Tylenol, it doesn't do anything, but if I take two, then my headache goes away. That's a belief. You are programming yourself to believe that that medicine doesn't work, even though it's real medicine. And maybe it doesn't work in the same way for, like maybe you haven't experienced an example of using it in medicine, but I know we've all had that feeling of, oh, this doesn't work for me. Doing it this way doesn't work for me, or I'm not good at this, or I can't do this. If you tell yourself you can't or it doesn't work, that's the reality you're creating. And the same goes for if you are desiring to make more money. You know, I know for a long time, I dreamed of being a coach. I wanted to be a business owner. I wanted to work for myself. I wanted to be able to make my own schedule and be able to have full creative freedom over the projects I produce and the energy that I put out. I wanted to create content. I felt so inspired by the people on YouTube who were using their voice for something, whether that was entertainment or education. And I knew that I wanted to do it, but for years I was like, oh, but I can't. I can't because I don't have the time. I can't because I have no energy by the end of the day. I can't because I don't know how to post on YouTube. I can't because I don't know how to edit videos. I can't. And that was my story. And look, here I am now. I've got over 2,500 subscribers. And I'm continuing on this channel. I know that it will continue to grow and grow and grow as I invest in it, as I continue to affirm for my concept as a business owner, as a coach. And I get to help so many beautiful women through this process. But I wouldn't have any of this if I held on to the story of I can't and it won't work and I don't have the time and all the excuses, right? So a lot of you listening, you are married to your excuses. You are married to the version of you that doesn't have what you want. You are so stuck in that identity of you don't get to have what you want. You're so accustomed to hearing no, to feeling denied in life, and that has to end. 2025, we are not settling. We are not settling for less money than we are worth. We are not settling to be less healthy than we know we can be. And we are not settling for crappy relationships, pardon my language, but we are not settling for that garbage in 2025. This year, your one challenge is to be so dedicated to the person you desire to be that you don't even remember what it felt like to not live the life you want to live. So I want you to be so enveloped, to be so embodied in the state of it's already done that you can't remember what it felt like to be unhappy about your body or your finances or your relationships. Like, I don't even remember what it felt like to feel unhealthy in my body. That's my honest truth. I hit my weight loss goal in February of last year, and then obviously I gained a little bit of weight, a very healthy amount of weight, I will say, in manifesting pregnancy, and that was a really beautiful thing for me. But I don't feel unhealthy the way that I did at my highest weight. I don't feel out of breath. I don't feel super fatigued the way that I used to. I don't feel limited in my body. I don't have a negative relationship with my body. I don't even remember what that reality feels like anymore, because it's been about 2 years now since I weighed this much. And I have changed my self-concept so much so that even though the scale is telling me one thing, I don't identify as that. I identify as my ideal weight. and I identify as a healthy person. And no circumstances are going to change that for me because I am so devoted to my new identity as a healthy person. And I use this as an example to show you, like, it really does not take much time. It really does not take a long time to be living in the state of it's already done, to manifesting the 3D circumstances showing you it's already done, for you to forget what it felt like. I used to be depressed every day of my life. I used to wake up depressed. I used to wake up super anxious. I used to jump out of bed and have to just like force myself to go. I have to force myself to get up. I got to force myself to eat. I got to force myself to get dressed. Every little part of my life was stressful and frustrating, and I don't live that way anymore. To the point where I don't even remember what that felt like. I could tell you what I think it feels like, but I really couldn't express truthfully how that felt for me because it's been so long since that was my reality. And the way that I got to where I am today is just committing to doing the visualizations, to saying the affirmations, to scripting, to listening to the videos, to changing what I listen to in terms of music. If you're manifesting a relationship, but you're listening to music about heartbreak, are you really manifesting a relationship? If you're constantly gossiping to your friends about how trash men are, and then secretly you really want to be married, are you really manifesting? If you can be honest with yourself right here in this moment. Are you truly manifesting, or are you just doing techniques? Because the difference between doing techniques and actually manifesting is that when the techniques stop, you don't stop believing in your manifestation. You don't stop believing in your desire. And the number one reason that you and I and anybody else who is desiring to have a thing, who has a goal or a vision or a dream, the only reason we don't have that yet is because we are not fully committed to believing and living as if we already have it. And there is no truth deeper than that. There is no more to say besides you have to live it. Manifestation is a lifestyle. It's not a technique. And it doesn't matter if you affirm all day long. If in between you are letting yourself be triggered constantly, if in between you are letting the circumstances take control over you, if you are letting everybody else dictate whether you can or can't have what you want, you won't get it. Or you'll get it, but it'll be really inconsistent. And in my experience, hot and cold manifestation is a lot worse than just not having it at all. I would much rather avoid the hot and cold manifestation altogether. And the only way to do that is to be so firmly planted in your manifestation, in the end scene of your desire, of you having what you want, that there's no room for hot and cold. And that's what 2025 is all about. We are not settling. We are not accepting hot and cold manifestations. We are accepting only the full embodiment of what we desire, period. And I will end this podcast episode with a lesson that Neville Goddard used to teach. So he said, when you plant the seed in the soil, you don't dig it up. If you want to plant a tree, the tree might take 10 years to grow and develop into a fully mature tree where it bears fruit and you can eat from it and so on and so forth. But if you plant the seed and then 2 days later you dig it up to see how much it's sprouted and then try to bury it, and then 2 days later you dig it up again to see if it's sprouted yet, like, you're doing more damage than good. And eventually you mess with it enough times that the seed just won't even grow. It's going to be like, all right, I guess you don't want it. And this is a metaphor for the fact that when you plant that seed of desire, planting it means I'm trusting that this is already done. I'm trusting that even though the seed is buried in the soil and I cannot see its roots growing, I'm trusting that by watering it and giving it sunlight and protecting the soil's nutrient levels, which is basically the techniques, you're affirming, you're having inner conversations, you're doing state akin to sleep meditations, so on and so forth. You are leaving it planted and you are investing in that seed and letting the seed do its thing. The seed already knows how to become a tree. You don't have to dig it up and be like, okay, now you're going to grow this root, and now you're going to grow that root, and then bury it again, and then unbury it and go, okay, now you're going to sprout up this way towards the sunlight, and you're going to grow like this for a few inches, and then you're going to grow this root. You know, you don't have to give the seed instructions. But what you have to do is leave it in the soil. And metaphorically, to dig the seed up is to go against your manifestation. It is to have that doubt. It is to have that fear. It is to buy into that fear and doubt and take action from a place of fear and doubt. Because if you're digging up a seed that you've planted, that means that you're fearful. It's not doing its thing. If you dig it up, it means that you are letting doubt drive your behavior. You are doubting that the seed is growing. So you go and mess with it. Well, do not mess with the circumstances. You don't have to. You don't have to have a conversation with somebody. You have to change them in your mind. You don't have to, try to force a better job by applying to 200 positions. You just go in your head and say, I already got this exact job that I want. You don't have to get on the scale every day and weigh your oatmeal every morning and count your calories and track your macros. Like, you don't have to do those things. Now, I'm not saying that those things don't work. You can count your calories, track your macros, get on the scale. You can go to the gym. You can do whatever you want to do in the physical if you feel inspired to. But that's not what actually leads you to lose the weight. Messing with the circumstances is not what actually leads you to the manifestation. It's the belief behind your actions. It is knowing that every single action you take is already moving you in the right direction. It is trusting that the seed you have planted is growing, and no matter what you do, as long as you don't fear and doubt, and it's not that you can't have those experiences, it's that the minute you feel fear and doubt, you go, nope, actually, I believe in my manifestation. Actually, I do already have what I want. Actually, even though these circumstances are showing me otherwise, I'm choosing to, in my mind, in my inner experience, believe that I already have what I desire. And nothing and no one is going to take that away from me. And that is the only way to live. That is the only way to manifest, truly, successfully. And I say this as someone who has hit multiple weight loss goals. I've hit multiple health goals. I have gone to the doctor and had test results reversed. I had a very healthy experience having my child, and it was very beautiful, and I did it without medication, without pain relievers, and that's something I didn't think I could handle, but I manifested it. I've manifested marriage with my specific person. I manifested, the beautiful experiences that I've had with him, and I've experienced so many milestones in my business, all through the technique, the manifestation process, the method, whatever you want to call it, of living in the end. All I had to do was tell myself, I have this thing already, and I don't care what my eyes or ears or nose or senses are telling me. It's already done. So stop settling in 2025. Marry your manifestation. Use as many techniques as you want to, but don't dig up the seed. Trust that the desire that has been planted is yours. It's yours the minute that you claim it is yours. And unless you stop claiming it's yours, you can't mess it up. But you can mess it up if you waver and if you let fear and being triggered determine your actions going forward. And I highly recommend you don't do that, because you will get hot and cold manifestation. You will waste a lot of energy and time. You will frustrate yourself. So instead, it's much easier to be aware of yourself, be aware of your behaviors, be aware of your feelings. Give yourself the space and capacity to be a full human, experience all the emotions, give the emotions a better meaning, and face the circumstances confidently, knowing that you get to have what you desire because you said so. I want to thank every single one of you who has followed me on this journey. I want to thank all of the people who have continued to inspire me with their stories, with their manifestation successes. And I want to thank everyone for believing in themselves, because when you believe in yourself, you inspire others to do the same. And if every single one of us just has a little bit more faith in ourselves, we can manifest and consciously create a world where everyone gets to have a beautiful, positive, happy, and peaceful experience. So thank you for being here. And if you have not yet subscribed, I would love it if you would hit that bell icon to be notified so that you can stay a part of my circle. I have a lot more to share, a lot more to speak on, and I will be expanding on this channel's content, not just covering law of assumption manifestation, but I am intending to go deeper into spirituality and have more real conversations about what it means to be a human being on this planet. So thank you again, and I will catch you all in the next one. Bye.